Hello everyone, I'm Justin and this is a full recap of the Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special, released in 2022. If you end up enjoying this video and want to see more from us, then make sure to click that subscribe button and click the bell to know anytime we upload a new video. After 18 projects across 2 years, the Marvel Cinematic Universe's fourth phase has finally reached its end, with their second Disney Plus special released a few days ago, the Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special, which, although just over 40 minutes, proved to be one of the most enjoyable outings of the entire phase. So, as we've done with multiple previous Marvel projects, which you can find in our Marvel playlist linked down below, we're going to once again run through everything that took place in the special, which you should make sure to check out if you haven't already so you can enjoy it for yourself. Also, if you haven't seen the special yet, make sure to watch our recent video to be caught up on everything you need to know prior to it, which will be the third link in the description. The special opens on an animated flashback of a young Peter Quill and Kraglin decorating a tree and surrounding it with gifts for Christmas, until they're interrupted by Yondu Yadanta, who's never heard of Christmas. But after having Peter explain it to him, he decides he hates it, not a fan of the gift-giving and sentimental aspects of it, and he destroys their tree as a result. This memory, as Kraglin explains to Drax, Mantis, and Nebula, is what he believes ruined the holiday for Peter forever. But Nebula believes it's a good thing they don't partake in the Christmas season, as they now have bigger things to worry about, such as fixing up Knowhere, the severed head of an ancient celestial being that was previously owned and made habitable by the collector Tanalir Tavan, until he recently sold it to the Guardians, who are now working to make it livable once again after Thanos left it in ruin years ago. And we see Rocket now trying to repair some of that damage, with the help of Cosmo the Space Dog's telekinetic powers. Cosmo was seen previously as part of the Collector's collection, but it appears she's now become the Guardians of the Galaxy's newest member, with whom she's able to communicate using a translator within her spacesuit. Peter, meanwhile, is also taking care of Knowhere's rebuilding process, but is soon interrupted by Beezer McTalkalak and his bandmates, each played by members of actual rock band, the Old 97s, and who've gotten their hands on some instruments from Earth and managed to put together a song about Christmas, which they perform for Peter so he can fact-check their lyrics, and we quickly see their understanding of the holiday and the lore of Santa Claus is off.
He doesn't have a flamethrower!
Mantis, though, is still hung up on Kraglin's story, and believes she should do something to lift Peter's spirits, since, as it turns out, she's his biological sister. A secret she's only told Drax, as she doesn't want to remind Peter of their father Ego's dastardly actions every time he sees her. So, Drax comes up with the perfect gift idea, suggesting they give him a man Peter's mentioned countless times over the years, and who they've come to believe is a legendary hero named Kevin Bacon, who really is just an actor on Earth. They're unaware of this fact, though, and believe he must be one of the planet's leaders, so they travel there hoping to find someone that can tell them where to find him. First wandering around the streets of LA, where they see various cosplayers, including one dressed up as Captain America, who Mantis rushes towards and leaps onto with excitement, mistaking him for the real Steve Rogers, who I assume she's heard of through stories from Peter's time on Earth prior to him being abducted by Yondu, since the only times they'd been in the same vicinity was during the final battle against Thanos and Tony Stark's funeral. Drax also ends up confusing one of the cosplayers for the real thing, as he threatens to kill a man dressed up as the GoBot Psykill, since apparently a GoBot once killed his cousin, but Mantis is able to calm him down for the moment, although he does end up beating the guy up later. And soon, Drax and Mantis get mistaken for cosplayers themselves, with tourists giving them a bunch of money to take pictures, and they then use said money upon entering and failing to find Kevin Bacon inside a club, buying a bunch of shots and getting wasted until they end up laid against a parking meter. Although they've had a very enjoyable night, they're still saddened that they haven't found Kevin Bacon. But fortunately, a woman directly next to them happens to be selling a Star Tours booklet with Bacon's home address in it. They're all out of money though, so Mantis just uses her empathic abilities to make the woman give them the booklet, as well as all of her money, which they then use to travel to Bacon's home, but he's quickly freaked out by a couple of strangers ringing his doorbell and claims he can't help them. So Mantis suggests the idea of Drax throwing her over the large gate into his yard, and Drax immediately obliges, even though Mantis wasn't yet ready to be launched. And outside his home, they each grab hold of one of his outdoor Christmas decorations, with Drax taking a little funny man, as he describes it, and Mantis taking a large candy cane. They then once again begin calling out for Bacon while banging on his door, prompting him to call the police. But his phone call is soon interrupted by Drax breaking into the home, and he's forced on the run as the two chase after him. The chase continues on outside of the home, but it's momentarily put on pause after Drax realizes he left his little funny man in the house, prompting Mantis to yell at him before they once again follow after Bacon, who's gained some assistance in the form of the police, although not for long, as they fail in their attempts to shoot down Drax since the gunshots only end up tickling him, and are ultimately knocked out by Mantis. As she begins approaching Bacon though, another cop car comes towards Drax, and his instinctive reaction is to flip it over.
Drax! You can't just kill people!
Well, how am I supposed to know the rules if no one tells me?
So Mantis apologizes to the flipped over police officers and makes them even by gifting them her giant candy cane, before once again turning her attention to Bacon, who she convinces to come with them with the use of her powers. And after stopping to get some Christmas decorations, the three begin their journey back to nowhere. As they travel, they question him about some of the stories Peter's told them, first asking if he knows of another hero called the Fonz, referencing actor Henry Winkler's character in the sitcom Happy Days, before then asking what it was like saving a small town by dancing, which is a reference to his character Ren McCormick in the movie Footloose, which has been referenced multiple times before in the MCU.
Well, on my planet, there's a legend about people like you. It's called Footloose, and in it, a great hero named Kevin Bacon.
Tell him about the dance-off to save the universe.
It's not.
Like in Footloose, the movie?
Exactly like Footloose. Is it still the greatest movie in history?
It never was.
They then ask him about his battle against the super strong masked killer Jason Voorhees, which is a reference to the movie Friday the 13th, in which his character Jack Burrell was killed by Jason's mother, Pamela Voorhees, with an arrow through the neck. And upon learning these were all just characters he played, they come to the realization that he's just an actor, who they believe are repugnant. So, believing they've ruined Christmas worse than Yondu, Mantis uses her powers on Bacon again so he'll pretend to be a real hero. But this doesn't work out as she had hoped, as he just begins acting like a war hero from the British Army in World War II, before then trying to act like the DC hero Batman. So they instead ask for him to just be himself if he didn't suck. Upon returning to nowhere, they put together their Christmas surprise for Peter, and once it's ready, they have Groot draw his attention to it, before one by one, each of the Guardians begin revealing different portions of the decorations, which seems to work in raising Peter's holiday spirit. But his joy quickly shifts to concern as Groot wheels in his gift, which he can see shaking and hear a voice from within it. So he rushes towards it and realizes they've kidnapped Kevin Bacon. Upon learning they've stolen a living person from Earth and recognizing Mantis has put him in a trance, he forces her to take him out of it and has Kraglin prepare the Bowie for his transport back home. And once back in the Bowie, Kraglin apologizes for his friend's actions, but claims they had good intentions and were just hoping he could renew Peter's joy for Christmas, since they know how much he means to him, with his work as an actor being part of what taught Peter how to be a hero. Bacon then, to his surprise, receives a phone call from his wife, since their satellite dishes can get reception up to 400 million light years away, and he assures her he's alright, but says he might be home a little late, as he has some friends that need his help. So, Kevin Bacon heads back out to the Christmas party and performs Here It Is Christmas Time by the Old 97s, alongside Beezer McTalkalock and his bandmates, while the Guardians exchange Christmas gifts, which includes Star-Lord gifting Groot a Game Boy, upgrading him from the arcade Defender he was seen playing with when he was a few years younger, Nebula gifting Rocket Bucky's arm, which he tried to get during the heroes' battle alongside the Avengers against Thanos' army, Cosmo gifting Kraglin a Dead Orloni, a species previously seen during the opening of the first Guardians of the Galaxy film, Mantis gifting Drax his little funny man lost earlier, and Groot gifting each of them little wooden sculptures. Following the performance, Bacon gives the team a group hug before heading off with Kraglin to return home, although he does say he'll see them at Easter. Peter's still in disbelief that they went through all this trouble just for him, and Mantis explains how they'd heard how Yondu ruined Christmas from Kraglin earlier, so they wanted to save it for him. But Peter finds this humorous, as that story actually had a happy ending, which we see in another animated flashback, where Yondu, after Peter and Kraglin had thrown away all of their Christmas decorations and gifts, grabbed the gift made for him out of the trash, and was left with a big smile on his face upon opening it. So he decided to give Peter a gift as well, with that gift being Peter's quad blasters that he's continued using in battle since. Mantis, though, says that wasn't the only reason she wanted to do something special for him, and takes this opportunity to finally reveal that she's actually his sister, which Peter claims is the greatest Christmas gift he could have ever gotten, before the two share a touching embrace. We then return to the animated flashback, where we see Yondu placing Peter's gift on the dashboard of his ship, as Peter sits down beside him, and the special ends with them flying off into space, leaving a holiday message behind them. In a post-credits scene, we see Rocket and Cosmo decorating Groot like a Christmas tree, but he gets tired of holding out his arms and drops them, resulting in their decorations falling to the ground, which prompts Cosmo to claim he ruined Christmas.
Now we gotta have another special.
And that was our recap of the Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special. If you enjoyed the video or found it helpful in any way, then make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. And also, let us know in the comments below how you'd rate the special out of 10, as well as how excited you are for the next Guardians project in the MCU. We'll be releasing more Marvel content soon, including Phase 3 and 4 recaps in the coming weeks, so be on the lookout for that. But once again, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll talk to you again soon.